What's up, everyone? We're back on the Porsche Macan. So I'm kind of jumping around between vehicles right now just because I'm doing a little bit more shakedown on the Macan. I fixed the intake manifold on the last video, got that smogged, and that's finished now, which is fantastic. Done with that portion of the job. I did a little bit of a shakedown on it. Everything else is running really well. I do have a little bit of a squeal from the front brakes. I'm not sure if it's just because, maybe the pads look good. I don't know if maybe the rotors have a little glazing on them. They look all right. Not something I'm interested in changing right now. I do plan on doing a big brake upgrade at some point, so we'll probably address it there. There is an oil leak on the car. I'm thinking more than likely it's from the fuel filter housing. So I have that gasket on order. I did clean up over there in that section, and it looks like there's a lot of fresh oil in that area. So we'll likely change that out, do an oil change at the same time. So just in the interim with this video, it'll be kind of a shorter one with just little knickknack items. I'm just trying to kind of get the car up to a standard that I'm comfortable with. I don't need it to be perfect, but I do like things to be working and in order. So, you can tell like little things like this, like a broken window washing cap, right? Just bother the heck out of me. So I ordered a new one. So this one's from FCP Euro. It's a factory Porsche part. And we'll put that on there, replace that. I did get some steel braided brake lines from JHM. So this is part of their new Porsche stuff that they've got. And I figured if I'm doing the brake fluid already, because it's pretty dark, I'll show you guys that. If I'm gonna be flushing the brake fluid, I might as well do this at the same time instead of doing it twice. So I got those. One other thing that kind of bothers me, and again, these are like little nuances that for me are kind of pet peeves and I just can't stand, they just get under my skin. The windshield wiper blades, the ones on the car, they're fitted for this car, but they don't fit right in the clips of the armature itself. So I'll show you that in a second. So I got the, these are not, I don't know if these are factory ones. The FCP Euro, it came with the front and rear wiper blades and a bottle of Porsche wiper blade fluid. I really don't need this. I just really wanted the blades. So these will fit more like factory and have a cleaner look to it. So let's get started and I'll kind of show you all these little things as we go through. Again, nothing wrong with the wiper blades that are on the rear one does need to be changed, but nothing wrong with the rest of them. It's just the way they fit, annoy the heck out of me. I'll show you what it looks like. And then we'll go through one at a time and fix all these little things. So I'll start off with the easy one because this one's kind of, I already took the cap off, so I'll show you guys that in a second. Okay, so here's what we originally had on this. I took it off already just so I can see what, how it clips on and everything. It's pretty simple. It kind of just twists in place. And then the cap should be part of it as one piece. So I'll show you the new one now. Here's the bag. And you can see the writing on there, VW, made in Italy. So welcome to Porsche, right? And let's see here. See if I can, I can't remember if I can, it just has a lip on here. It's not really, and then you see how it has these two little prongs right there. Those will fit in. There's a portion in the back that accepts it. So let's see if we can clip it on. Okay, so I took it off camera just because I wanted to make sure that this was sealed into its place correctly. So I took off this reservoir real quick and snapped it into place. Everything's cool. Got this little cover back, or the little filter back in, and there we go. We went from this broken deal, which actually I found the lid inside here when I took off this cowling. And so I can toss this guy out now. It didn't even clip, like I couldn't even salvage it, right? So I was like, oh, I'll just put it back on, and it wasn't even clipping together. So it was just completely toast. So this is gone. We got our new lid in place. It actually snaps, which is beautiful. And that's done. Let's go ahead and move on to windshield wipers and see what we got there. So I'll show you what little pet peeve I've got with that one right now. So you can see the wiper here in the arm. It's just, this just looks really hideous. I just can't live with it anymore. So I'm gonna take it off. That's the driver's side there, and here's the passenger side. It just looks really weird. It's kind of chunky. It's just a really bulky piece here. So let's take this one off and I'll show you the new one. And the huge difference it makes. Here is the passenger side, it'll go in this way. It's a Bosch part, and press this little guy here, slides out, and that's it. So you can see the difference, just the lower profile here, right, in comparison to whatever these are. I'm not even sure what brand these are. Again, they were fine. The front ones weren't bad. They were working okay. It's just mainly the way that it fits. And so you'll see here how it goes back together. It's gonna look really nice. And there'll be nice new wiper blades for winter time here that we're in. There you go. You see how nice this fits, the gap there? This is what we're looking for here. That just looks much cleaner than this huge bulky mess. And we'll toss these ones out. I'm not planning on reusing these ever again. Get this off. There's a big, ugly, chunky one compared to the nice lower profile factory OEM-esque. I think these were advertised as OEM parts on FCP Euro. So I don't know what the OEM uses, if they're using Bosch as their factory piece or not. There you go, nice and clean. And there it is. So those are the front ones done. So we just got a couple of little things that weren't horrible, but needed to be done. In my eyes, they were pretty important. Let's go do the rear one. Okay, here's the rear part number A381H, again Bosch. This was all part of that set, so let's get this one swapped out. Let's see, this does look like it was replaced at some point. So here's the side-by-side comparison of the two different parts. All right. These ones didn't work very well when it was sitting in its place. Like you can see how it's not straight. It was just, it wasn't touching all the way. So let's get this in. I think it goes in. There we go. Car needs a bath. There we go. So we got all the wiper blades done. We'll go ahead and lift the car up and move on to brake lines and fluid flush. The brake fluid on this looks filthy, so this will be a really satisfying change. I'm gonna go ahead and use the little Mighty Vac fluid extractor that I have. It's a smaller little hand pump deal, and I just go in order of furthest away from the reservoir. So you start off on the rear passenger side, go to the rear driver side, then you go front passenger side, and then front driver side. So we'll do that, and as we go along, we'll probably, maybe what I'll do first is take all the wheels off and we'll swap out the brake lines first, and then we'll pump out the fluid from the reservoir, and then we'll start our brake flush from that point on. So give me a few seconds, I'll get this thing up in the air. All right, so we're gonna do the rear brake line here. So the brake lines that I got have two different sizes, two shorter ones for the rear, and I already did one front, I'll show you that afterwards. And I'll show you the other front side. So these are, here's the length, right? So two, they're not lined up, there you go. Two shorter ones, they are the same length, I'm just kind of holding them funky. Two shorter ones for the rear, two longer ones for the front. I'll show you the other front one. I just wanted to test fit it before I made the video. So we'll go ahead and put the two shorter ones on. Well, I'll just show you one of each because obviously it's just the same both ways. So I disconnect the hard line here, I just like to loosen it. There's a little rubber grommet that holds it on the bracket there. And then the routing for this, you just got to make sure you route it the same. So it's hugging the back of the hub and straight to the caliper at that point. So it's it's an 11 millimeter here for the hard line. And then at the back of the caliper, it's a 14 millimeter, I believe. Let's see if I can fit it in here and get this guy loosened up. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so in order to get these off, I like to loosen them first. In order to get it off, you've got to disconnect this hard line first. And then you'll be able to twist the whole guy here, the whole line, in order to get it out. And then you do it in reverse order. So you put the caliper side first, tighten it down, and then put this guy in after. You can't do them the other way. And you'll see why the threads are, it's only threaded for that route. So there's that. Let it drain down here. And then I already loosened it, so you can just twist the whole line. And then again, we're going in front of these wires right tight to the hub. All right, so I did that first front one just to test fit, make sure everything's cool. And let me clean up this side here before I forget. Do a little spray on there on the threads here. Okay. So I did that first one just to make sure everything's good, and you know, number one, got the right parts. Number two, that I can do it. You know, make sure everything's the right size and things like that. So I've got this drip pan underneath here to catch some of this fluid. And again, I'm not concerned about the fluid being lost here because I'm going to do a brake flush after this. So this is like the perfect timing to do this. Here's the old line, and here's the new one. Really nice quality on these these braided ones, these steel braided ones. They have a coating on there too, so it protects the braiding. And then this is the grommet that fits into its spot there for, you know, just kind of holding it in place. And the new ones come with it too, which is freaking awesome. Love little details like that. Let me get the floor cleaned up in front of me here. All right, so let's connect up the first side here into the caliper. Stuff kind of pushing on it, so you need to make sure the end that's going into the caliper is straight, and then the threads will line up straight. So we just got it right now. Tighten it in like this, and then this little rubber grommet is adjustable, so you can, it has a little slit in it here, so obviously just got put on afterwards, and you can adjust it to where you want. So we'll get this on here, let's tighten it down, and then we'll put that grommet in place after we get the top hard line in. Okay, you don't gotta go nuts tightening it down, so that's that. We'll get this, what is it, 11 millimeter tightened up. So this spring stays on there. We're gonna go ahead and put this line, make sure everything's clean. Let me clean this up a little bit before I put the line on there. There's some dirt. And get that guy there. And start twisting this head in. Again, twist it in by hand. Make sure everything's aligning correctly. You don't need to put a tool on it. It will go in by hand most of the way. And that way, you know you're not cross-threading anything. Because once you cross-thread it, man, these brake lines are kind of a pain in the butt to have to fix and replace. So there it is, I've got it in. Let's go ahead and start tightening it up. And then you'll have the brake fluid stop leaking once it bottoms out. I like to put the slit into the bottom. Let's see if I can get you in there. So, yeah, there we go. Okay, so I like to get the slit that's in the rubber into the bottom of this cradle that it's in. You know, I don't think it really matters one way or another. It's just my own little idiosyncrasies here. So, put that, push it in to its spot till it bottoms out. There we go. And that's it. That's the brake line installed. Really easy, very nice part. Make sure everything's tight. I did spray the back of the hard line right, you know, at the caliper right now. So, and I sprayed up here. So we'll see, you know, check for leaks as we're doing this. So everything's dry. We'll just clean up after ourselves here. These are old cut up t-shirts and stuff that I have laying around. I don't like to toss them out. I like to cut them up and turn them into shop rags. Kind of serves a double purpose, huh? Clean up the brakes. Let's do a quick little clean up on the hub. Get prepared for putting wheels back on later. Okay, here we are on the driver's side front. Let's crack this line just like we did on the other one. So I already did the passenger side front, and this will be the last hard line install. You got to make sure when you're putting the brake lines in, I don't think you're going to be able to fit the shorter ones in the front, or if you can, they're going to be really tight. But just pay attention to which one's the shorter one and which one's the longer one. So you want to make sure you put the long one in the front. This brake fluid actually looks pretty clean here, but there's the red paint that was used on the caliper paint. Pretty cool. So there's that last one there. Let's grab the new line. So here it is. And this is the longer one for our front application here. There it is. You've got the brake line installed right there. There's the rubber grommet. Kind of hard to tell. It looks like it's a little crooked, but it's not. It's just the angle of where I'm at here. And where it is, there you go. We'll go ahead and do the brake bleed. I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit and kind of show you maybe like the last one, like a couple of them. So I've got some new Audi .4 fluid that I have. I have 2 of these cans. It should be more than enough for this. If not, I got a little bit extra. But I like to use this little handheld deal if I'm doing this by myself, which is usually 99.9% of the time. I'll suck out the stuff that's in the reservoir. You know, mind you guys, there's a million ways to do this, but this is how I'm doing it. All right, so what I'm doing now is bleeding the last caliper. I went and did all of the other 3 already. I'll just show you the last one. They're pretty much all the same, except the fronts have 2 bleed screws. Start with the outer, which I already did, and then finish off with the inner. I like to break them loose just a little bit, which I already did, and then go ahead and start cracking it loose. And I have this little hand pump, basically creates a vacuum, and it'll start sucking out some of the fluid from this brake caliper here. So you should start seeing this reservoir fill up. So the new fluid I put in is nice and golden. I did do a good, I did 2 of these containers full of brake bleed from this side. So this should come out pretty golden. All you're doing is trying to get whatever air is out of there. I topped off the reservoir completely, so there's no room for air to come in through the reservoir. Basically what I like to do when I'm on the last wheel is top the reservoir off to its full, almost to the neck. And then whatever I pull out of here is basically the level that I need it to be when it gets back to its max level. So you can see the fluid's beautiful, golden, brand new. And we'll go ahead and just do about half of this bottle, get it done. We'll clean off with the brake clean. And then I'm gonna show you guys underneath the car, do a little assessment of little items that need to be fixed on here. So give me a few minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this up, and then I'll get you underneath the car, show you what we got. So just so you can see what I did here, I put a flashlight on the reservoir. Hopefully it's coming up. You can see that it is full, nice golden fluid that's in there. We bled all 4 corners and got all the air out of the lines, put new fluid in it. The old fluid was a little greenish. I don't know if that's because of whatever fluid they used when they did the last service, or if it was because it was bad. Regardless, we got new brake lines on here, the braided stainless steel JHM brake lines. We got the new cap for the window washing reservoir, very critical. And now I can put that cowl cover back on. I left it off earlier because I knew I was gonna do these items. I can put that back on. I'm gonna leave the engine cover still off because I need to fix an oil leak, which you guys will see here momentarily. Let's get this thing up in the air and I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, here we are underneath the car. You're gonna see, I just did an inspection earlier, but we'll see what we find together. Over here, this is the driver's side CV axle. It is torn, there's grease all over the place. I wiped this up before I did the brake lines, but look at that nice view of the JHM stainless steel brake lines, hell yeah. So yeah, that is gonna get replaced. I'm either gonna do the boot itself or just get like a good used axle, OEM axle. From what I've read and what I understand and doing all this for a long time is that the aftermarket stuff just isn't very good. So I'm not really interested in going with cheap aftermarket parts that'll break. You know, I'm not doing crazy stuff, but I just don't want to do the work twice. Overall, like everything looks really clean. Transmission's dry. Check that out. There is some oil on the floor right there, and I think I talked about it previously. Fairly confident it's coming from the oil filter housing. I think earlier I said fuel filter housing, huge mistake there, but you can see a little bit of wetness here. That's probably what that drip is right now. I do have a new bolt, sorry, this is the drain plug. It's plastic, it's like a quarter turn. There's a special little tool which I have that you take it out with. I have a new one with a new gasket on there coming. And then you can see oil further up. Let me get a flashlight. You can see oil further up, like really fresh drops right there. And this is exactly the spot where the oil filter housing is at. So we'll disconnect the AC compressor. Hopefully we don't have to, drain it, but I'm gonna disconnect this, disconnect the alternator. We'll get the housing filter housing off, and then we'll put a new gasket behind it, clean everything obviously first, put a gasket, new gasket, put it back all together. We'll pressure wash everything. I'll do a fresh oil change on it, and then clean everything up and see how it performs from there. But yeah, there's definite oil leakage going on. So you can see more right there. I think it's traveling, there's fresh oil right now. So this is coming from somewhere here, but I don't think it's coming from this side in particular. You can see a little bit of like dried coolant. Again, these aren't wet. We're not losing coolant. So I don't know if this is from like something previous that might have been leaking, but right now everything is dry aside from this oil leak. Yeah, that's definitely not from anything I did. It's oil, fresh oil. So, here's this side. Maybe it's the pan gasket too. I mean, there's oil all over the place on this thing. Could be these transmission lines. That looks like motor oil, but yeah, tons of oil. We'll probably end up dropping the pan too. I might as well, while we're doing the oil filter and everything. I mean, this is all just a mess. So it doesn't look like it's going to be too difficult to get to all these bolts. I can see them at the very least, which is good. But just like everything else Audi, we'll see how that goes. So yeah, other than that, let's take a look. This is at the front of the car. Walking backwards here. Everything looks really good. The exhaust is nice. Nothing's scraped up. The undercarriage, everything looks good. Nothing's missing. Drive shaft's tight. So no problems there. What else we got? Yeah, center carrier is tight. Nothing's loose there. The rear differential, no leaks. I'll probably end up getting some fluid for that, and we'll swap that out. I'm not sure if it was done. Be a good time to do it. Shocks look okay. They're original, 97,000 miles. So we'll probably end up doing those at some point when we lower the car. And yeah, other than that, really clean little ride. Pretty happy with it overall. So I think I left one wheel off. I got some measuring and things like that to do on that side for some brakes, bigger brake upgrade, and then I'll put the wheel back on. That's for a later video. But we're just doing little things here and there, and we'll get it 100% at some point, but it's part of the series here. Okay, that just about wraps up what this video comprises of. So we did just a quick recap. We did the window washing fluid reservoir cap. Super important to do. You can't have that thing loose and flopping around everywhere or lost somewhere in your cowl. We replaced that one. We did a brake fluid flush along with the JHM steel braided brake lines, stainless steel braided brake lines. Awesome upgrade. And don't forget to pump your brakes after you do your brake fluid flush. You want to make sure that the pedal comes back. Got brand new fluid in all four corners. The reservoir is full of nice golden. I used .4 fluid on this thing, which is what it calls for. We replaced the wiper blades, front and rear. Yeah, just, again, it didn't need the front ones, but you saw how chunky those things were. I can't stand stuff like that. The little details just really, they get to me if they're not right. The rear wiper blade was toast. That thing wasn't really cleaning very well. It was just smearing around and not very, very good in the rain. So that one did need to be replaced, again, with OEM ones. So all the parts I pretty much got for this were from FCP Euro, except for the JHM brake lines. I ordered those from JHM directly. Everything went pretty smooth. You saw underneath the car for some future mechanical repairs that need to be done. The CV axle needs to get fixed. It's not clicking yet, so I could probably throw a boot on it. I'll see if I can find a good used one with a low mileage unit. OEM, I might throw that on there or just replace the boot. Either way, maybe I'll just have an extra one. We'll see. There is an oil leak on the motor. We probably need to get an oil pan gasket, maybe an oil pan. Those plastic ones are known to warp. And then the oil filter housing is likely leaking as well. So we'll swap that out. The other item cosmetically that I'd like to do on this car is a good buffing and waxing on it. So I might sub that out. We'll see. We'll hire somebody to come and do it. Or if I get the machine to polish it, we'll do it ourselves. And that'll be my first time. We'll see how it goes on camera, especially on a black car. It might be kind of tough. And then the other item is there is a little dent, super small dent on the front of the hood that's bothering me. It's really kind of an eyesore because it's a really pretty front end. So I'll have a paintless dent repair guy come out and take care of that. I'll see if I can record it. If I'm home, I'll take care of it and record it and share it with everybody. If not, I'll show you what it looks like before and after. Other than that, everything's, you know, kind of tip top on this thing right now. We're just moving along in this series, and let me know if there's something specific you want to see, but the upgrades are coming soon. I think next episode, we're probably going to start doing some performance mods. So stay tuned for that. Like, subscribe, thumbs up. Give me a thumbs down if you don't like it, you know, let me know what's happening here. Comment, ask questions, whatever you got. I hope to see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.